Hey everybody, welcome to the conclusion of the Ohio Winter League Series 6 Riverbend Disc Golf Trail in Findlay, Ohio. Myself, Greg, and James from Six Sided Discs, we're out here to tackle the back nine in our second round. And I'm going to change my play from the first round where I threw my Berg, and I'm going to give a throw of my new Cosmic Electron Soft Streamline Pilot, which I'm still learning a little bit. I don't throw a lot of putters. James has got his Rico or Recco. I apologize, Castoplast fans who have stronger opinions of the pronunciation that I'm sure we're consistently getting wrong. And James is kind of up here on a hill on the side of the road to see if he can convert what would be an impressive birdie.
Yes, sir.
And that is a great putt. Birdie for James. He is picking up a head of steam here, I think, heading into our final 9.
Oh.
And I think that's the 4th or 5th putt that I've left just a tiny bit low and hit cage.
Okay.
We're back at hole 2, par 3, 246. James went out of bounds in the first round after hitting that tree. And so I think he's going to look on the bright side and say, I'm in bounds. Could have been worse. And I am going to completely change my plan. No more sky tomahawk situation on accident with my flare. I go for a big thumber with my Firebird, which turns over way too fast, hits the walking path, and bounces inbounds by about an inch. So couldn't have gotten much luckier than that. James with a great forehand approach shot here. He's happy with that. I'm impressed as well. And yeah, as you can see, just barely inbounds. And at that point, I'm feeling pretty good. Like, okay, my luck is going to change. I've had a rough start to the second round with a triple bogey. Maybe I can ring up a birdie here. And one thing I noticed throughout this round, especially watching the footage, is I sort of weirdly switch back and forth between straddle putts and kind of a standard putting stance, and that seems to also, coincide with me missing a lot of putts, whereas on the first round I kind of nailed a couple of really good putts. So I missed that opportunity. I'm going to have to settle for a par. James has got a great par there after hitting that early tree, and we are on to hole 3 and into this kind of quartet of short holes. And James has made the correction from the first round and is absolutely parked for a tap-in birdie. That's a great shot. And I'm giving my MD3 a throw for one of the first times, and it goes in a straight line, which would be great if I had aimed that straight line at the basket. So I got a long look for birdie. And not low this time, but maybe an overcorrection and hit the top band. And we'll have to settle for a tap-in par. James with a great birdie. And at this point, he's on a roll. He is charging, as is our card mate, Rob. And I think psychologically it's starting to affect me that I had the best first round out of our group. And after that triple bogey on the first hole of the second round, it just keeps getting worse. Here on hole 4, James with another great shot. Throws his Berg up there. I decide to switch to my Discmania Neo Instinct, which goes pretty far right and pretty far long. Maybe not as far as it looked. And I take a second here to reset. Like, I don't like my stance. I don't like how my foot feels in the snow. There's a little bit of wind. I'm trying to be patient and take my time and reset. And then I completely miss. And I was absolutely beside myself. I told myself I did all the right things and still missed. And, I think mentally, physically, fatigue is setting in. And I think James would agree after that putt as well. Kind of clips the edge of the cage. He taps out for par, and I went way past the basket. So I've got to kind of spin putt my way out of this, and that one felt good, but still had a little bit of feeling of what could have been from that first putt. I also noticed watching this footage with another great shot from James that he started throwing a lot more putters in the second round, and I wonder if that was just a confidence thing, if he was kind of talking to himself and saying, you know, the plan is not working this first round. I'm not very comfortable throwing putters. I go for my Firebird on that one, and I leave myself another long putt, and this is not the range you want to be in when you're losing confidence and you got snow sliding down your sock, and you know, you're just worn out after a long day in the cold. So back to his soft judge for this putt on hole 5. Top band, and again, I would chalk some of these up to us just kind of losing focus after a long day. I'm even kind of occasionally not feeling like I'm totally balanced in my putting stance, and
there we go.
Happy to convert anything inside 20 feet at this point. We move on to hole 6, par 3, 228. James is at 2 under. I'm at +3.
Good catch.
And, I mean, you can see the tee pad behind James doesn't really look much different than the rest of the snow around it. Despite the salt, every time a player stepped onto it, they brought a bunch of snow from their shoes. So we're opting to throw from the side and also backed off on the camera to give a little bit better angle. We're trying to go around to the left. And James puts it in a decent spot. He'll have a look at the basket.
Kind of crazy to hold it.
And I think I threw my FX2 here, clipped the tree, and this may have been where I accidentally left my FX2 sitting in the snow. I don't know if it was this hole or a different hole, but somehow I forgot to bring it back. It's a beautiful Chris Dickerson USDGC champion FX2. And some kind individual from that area texted me on Monday morning after the event to let me know that they found it. So thank you so much. I didn't catch their name, but I greatly appreciate you. We pick up a couple of pars there to clean up on hole 6. And we're on to hole 7 again. Headwind, long hole, considers itself a par 4. James puts a good rip on this. It's turning, and then the wind just says, nah. I'm going to go over by that tee over there for hole 8. And I'm at this point, we missed my tee shot, but there was nothing nice about it at all. And not a lot nice about this, especially that tree that kind of clips it. And I'm feeling pretty frustrated at this point. We're on hole 7. There's only 3 holes left. I'm trying to stay ahead of Rob, who's on our card, to give myself a chance at a top half finish. James, on the other hand, is right on the edge of the money, so he is got something to play for sure. And on this hole, Rob threw out of bounds, and that was my chance to really make up some strokes and maybe even catch him on this round. And I did not do myself any favors with an errant tee shot and a not great approach, followed by another top band from all of 10 or 12 feet. I mean, there's no excuse, and I clearly don't look happy about it, and I'm not at this point. You know, I think we're in the 4th or 5th hour. James and I are talking about how we're going to deal with our cursing, and I chose to mute it because I thought that would be easier. And I would say we both didn't conduct ourselves particularly well on that hole, but you know, you got to pick yourself up and keep going. We're on to hole 8 now. Another par 4, 304. And James's disc takes about 5 seconds to go from the top of this tree to the bottom and kind of rolls a little to the right, which is going to give him a decent look at the basket despite his displeasure. I'm going with my SV. Turned it over. Maybe a little too much. And I see a line through here. I'm just trying to laser beam this thing low. And it does not work. And you may not be able to hear it in the audio, but right about here I say, I want to go home. After almost 5 hours in the snow. I'm just about done. but there's still 1 and a bit holes to go. So I'm just going to go with an approach, kind of jump putt approach with my A1. Put it through that gap. It's stable. It'll hook up and leave me with a putt that,
Like the four-handed
again, under the circumstances, I'm not feeling super confident about. And I kind of talked to James about this shot. I thought it really favored his putt, but he decided he wanted to flick it through here. And it worked out fine, so can't argue with him on that. If you're feeling confident, go for it. And I managed to scramble a par on this par 4, which feels more like a bogey. James picks up the birdie. We'll call it a par as well. And James is 3 under. I'm 4 over, and that tells you everything you need to know about my second round, because I beat James by 2 strokes on the first round. And in a repeat of hole 9 first round, James has got an early tree kick, and I'm going to go for the streamlined pilot. I don't throw many putters. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to practice. And snuck it through the gap, kind of, and hit the second tree. James's approach shot goes pretty deep, much further than he was anticipating, as you can see. And I'm kind of thinking, all right, this is hole 9. It's our last hole. It's our finishing hole. I want to really give this a bid. And very nearly
What a run.
hit a nice jump putt, and then some gratuitous slow-mo here of James's putt from back in the woods, just getting no glide at all and dropping down by the pole. I'm not sure how or why, but it happens. And we're going to clean up here.
Go ahead. You're up.
It was a fun day out. It's a 2-hour drive from where I live up to Findlay, and snow golf is rough, but we had a good time nonetheless. Sold a few discs to some friends up there as well, which kind of paid for the trip and made it an enjoyable experience. And this is me just completely exhausted, wrapping up the last hole. Count up the scores. James finishes at 2 under. I'm at 4 over on our last round at Riverbend. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like us to do more videos like this, please let us know in the comments, and we'll record events that we play in and kind of talk you through some of our shots. Don't forget to check out our website and the changes coming soon. Pictures of every disc, $3 flat rate shipping, $50 and up gets free shipping. That'll be coming very soon, so stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much.